what's up you guys? It's me, Kylie, and I am back to talk about another unsolved case. So this case is the case of Brian Egg, who lived in San Francisco, California. He was 65 years old and regarded by his neighbors as very, very kind. They all lived on an alleyway, and in that alleyway, he would constantly clean it up and keep it nice for everyone. He was kind to all of his neighbors, and they were used to seeing him out and about. So one day in August of 2018, none of his neighbors had seen him, and this in itself was suspicious. But when his neighbors would knock on his door, they wouldn't answer. And additionally, his neighbor called him, and it went straight to the messaging machine that said he would be on vacation. Now, this was weird because one, no one had seen him leave, and two, he never used his messaging machine, his answering machine, and three, it wasn't his voice. So they quickly called police, and police went to the residence. And when they went and looked around, they found two transients that were living there who had broken in, and they were arrested and charged with identification theft, financial theft, breaking and entering, etc. However, what they weren't charged with was the murder of Brian Egg, because shortly after entering the home, they found his body. However, they found, more accurately, his torso, because he was missing his head and his hands, and his body was folded up into a fish tank. He was one of the nicest men regarded by his neighbors. They'd seen no one else enter the home besides the transients. So this was a case that went cold fast. Those two people were released, and 3 years later, there's still no suspects and no one who's been charged with the crime. To this day, they haven't found his hands, they haven't found his head, and they've found no other DNA clues. So hopefully by getting the word out, I wish I could give you guys more information on this case, but it simply just doesn't exist. But even these small cases are so important to get out there, because the ones with the less details are the ones that are going to take the longest to solve, because there's just not evidence. So I hope this helped. I hope I made you guys aware of another case, and I hope you guys can help and look for research, look for evidence, and get the word out about Brian Egg. Because honestly, based off of what I could read about him from his neighbors and his friends, he was a great guy. So let's get justice for him.